welcome to episode number 7 of For the Record podcast. I'm your host, Rhoni, and I've got...
Danielle.
How's it going, everybody?
Well, I mean, it's just us here.
Yes. I meant everybody.
I guess so.
You and me.
I mean, we should do a pause. Let's wait for them to respond.
Great.
You're doing great. Everyone's great. World War III's on its way, but everyone's doing great.
We're good.
Okay, so we want to start off today. We've got a few things to talk about, but most importantly, I know your burning question is, what are we wearing? That's not where you thought I was going to go with it.
No,
Okay.
Burning question, eh? It's the most burning question. And somehow me and Danielle matched today. Look at that.
No, exactly the same
we
color.
are exactly the same color.
You gotta check out the
It's like we enlisted in the army, and that's
Honestly,
exactly how
we're both in army green. I'm in army green from head to toe. I'm wearing a jumper, and he's wearing like a full sleeve. Matchy, super matchy.
So we didn't talk about it. She said, "This is what I'm wearing." I'm like, "Okay."
No.
She walked in, and I was wearing this, and she was wearing that. So I was like, "Great."
I know. Sometimes we coordinate our outfits. Sometimes we don't.
Sometimes we're completely opposite.
I know.
But after answering that burning question, what are we talking about?
Okay, today we're going to talk a little bit about posing. Not necessarily certain poses you need to have, because every wedding photographer is different. Personalities are different, styles are different, just even the vibe of your wedding day is different. But we will kind of mention things that from a photographer standpoint and from a videographer standpoint, what you can expect. Because sometimes if you haven't been pictured before and you haven't been videoed before, you're like, well, I don't get it and I feel stiff. Maybe we can give you some insight to why we're asking for what we're asking.
And how in terms of how it's going to look for photo versus how it's going to look for video. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And why we, do a certain thing or say a certain thing and ask you to do a certain thing because how it's going to look. And
here's the thing that I say every time I walk in with like a family or doing an engagement or a wedding. My first thing, and I don't actually know, I don't even promote if my couples want to do engagement, fine. But I do always say in an email or text, like, if you don't, it's not make or break. And some photographers it is, some photographers not. You know what? I have a personality that is gonna make the candidates happen. So it's not, not a must. But if you are nervous and never been pictured, nervous for your partner, nervous for yourself, that's what that engagement session's for.
100%.
But I always walk in and I always say, you guys, you need to be close. The farther, sometimes distance in a photo makes sense. Most of the time, it makes it look like you don't like each other.
100%.
Right?
Want to get as close as possible.
Yeah.
And also, again, use those hands. Like, again, just what do I do with my hands? Not Will Ferrell from Talladega Days or Talladega Days.
Okay. Sorry, I can't stop. But, if you're touching all the time, it makes it look like you care.
Mm-hmm. Yes. A very, not like a dad holding you over the shoulder kind of touching. It's just,
bride and groom. We're talking about bride and groom only here. Okay. So all the times to look with girls, I want to see like both sets of hands. Rule of thumb is you don't want to cut one off too many times in your photos because then it looks like you've been a missing appendage. You do want to, throw your hand over the shoulder, show me the curl in the ring, use a hand on the chest. Guys can use the hand on the cheek, right?
Not all hands in the pocket all the time, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Try to run your hands just by her hair, by her cheek, and try not to.
Hands are storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So even if like they're naturally going to be more touchy-feely couples, and there's going to be some that just don't do that, right? So if you're a couple that just aren't touchy-feely in public, but you are at home, okay, for your wedding day, I'm going to say try to get out of your comfort zone because it's going to make or break the difference in your photos, right? So if yours are really stiff and highly posed, straight backs, and no laughter, no touching, it's just going to be a lot different than, say, your friends' wedding photos where it's lots of touching, lots of laughing, lots of running, lots of So you just got to let go and trust your photographer, right? So
sometimes some of the poses are like, okay, this feels awkward and doesn't feel right. Or if something's like, okay, why do I not feel comfortable? Because one, you've never done that before, because you've never held someone a certain way, or
and naturally you guys might not be standing on top of a hill in the freezing cold brushing each other's hair.
Exactly. That picture was very vivid.
Right?
Like I could exactly picture what's happening there. No, but you've never done that before, and two, it's gonna look different on a photo when it's captured versus when you're in the moment. It's gonna look different. So the reason, sometimes we make you stand a certain way, or sometimes we make you hold a certain way, right? So it's not gonna feel comfortable in that moment, or it's not gonna feel right that moment. But when it's captured, it's different.
I totally have to tell you one of my secrets, and this is for any photographer out there and / anyone I've ever shot is going to start laughing because they'll now figure it out. Okay, so I in an engagement session, like when it's not your wedding day, I try to keep things moving all the time. I try not to stand for too long, or if you catch your breath, you get to stand. But sometimes when things are stale, or if you're cold in the middle of the session, I'll be like, okay, and next shot here, it's a really good one, guys. Please, 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 please pay attention. Okay, I want you to race towards me. 3, 2, 1, and they're running, right? And they think back to themselves like, what kind of picture is that? I don't want pictures of us racing past the photographer. No, I didn't take any pictures. You're just warming up. I didn't. And then you're just having fun.
Right.
Like sometimes I'll ask you to do the weirdest things, but you guys are giggling. And then 3 steps later, when he's hugging you from behind, you guys are giggling, and she's arguing with him how she won or he won. That's the picture.
Right.
Right.
The
so
moments
sometimes,
that happen just, again, like Silas says it all the time too. It's when we're posing you, it's the moment just before and the moment just after that makes that whole clip or the whole photo look alive, right?
And I hope, by the end of your wedding day or your session, get into it. So whatever we've been asking of you, we're going to keep asking, right? So a lot of times, like, his crotch is going to have to be on her butt, and we're going to want to smile. She might be nervous. So like I've seen some grooms, start, how do I say this appropriately? Hip thrusting from behind and tickling her and like tickling her ribs, and she starts laughing. Those are those pictures because you think, I love this photographer. They're so candid. Okay, there are some photographers that shoot more candid than others, but there's a lot of photographers that make the candid happen, right? And it's going to be a little bit of the couple, but a lot of guidance.
And the most of the time, what we're trying to do is get you loose, get you comfortable into, hanging out with one another, and then just imagine like when you're home just by yourself, you're not uncomfortable about being on the couch just with the two of you, just watching a movie or whatever. It's we want to try to get you comfortable so you are both yourself, and then the capturing happens, right? So.
And as like from our standpoint, you guys can talk. If we're like, okay, like go up the hill, and then I want this, talk all the way out there, talk all the way back. I really have to take a couple cracks at that couple that like get there and then stand and look at me like a puppy dog, like like point when they get up there for instruction. You go with the flow, do the funny things, have fun. Have you ever had a couple ever just be like, okay, yeah, we showed up for pictures, and they like brought beers and did a shot before?
100%. And again, the alcohol does magic, and the reason I'm saying that is, again, I'm not expecting you to show up absolutely plastered, but what it does is gets you loosened up again, just because we want you to be a little more careless and not think about you're in front of a camera.
Here's my thing: if you're anything like me, like 2 glasses of wine, like my rosacea pops up and I'm patchy. Maybe not the best.
Maybe not the best thing to do. Yeah, totally.
But here's another one that I really, really like. Okay, might not be a part of your wedding day. No guests might see it. But is there something that you two like to do together? Include that in your photos.
I was gonna say, it was like any hobbies you like and things you like to do.
Wine making? Should we have a little blanket with some wine? Are you guys fishing people? Maybe we should get a canoe and like have you in there with some flowers.
Hiking, like if you guys are hikers, right?
Yeah, so if there's spots that matter, like just add a little bit of you into your day, and I think that'll make you passionate about the photos as well.
100%. And here's some things for the nerd couple, because I'm in my relationship, I'm the half nerd. So we had couples who are Harry Potter fans,
but you're also in our relationship, you're the nerd.
Yes, I am the nerd in either one of them.
Okay, can I explain this? I'm cutting you off.
Yes.
Okay, I've been having a lot of computer trouble. Let's just say my computer expenses are well over, what are we at? Like 15 grand this month? Anyway, so I have this computer.
That is true, 15 grand in the month.
Okay.
Oh my God.
No, you know about this, Rhoni. This is no secret.
No, I didn't do the math of how much you spent on it just yet. Oh.
So I got this big iMac, and like I'm at my wits' end. My partner Shane's just killing himself laughing. His brother's there. They're just like, "Holy, I've never seen her like that before." I'm ready to throw this thing through that big picture window, and Ronnie's just texting me back and forth, calling me like, "Oh, I'm Brown. I'm really into this stuff. I'm really into the tech. Let me."
No, I said, listen. I wanted to fix it ever since she said it. It was just some innate thing in me that I'm like, it's wired in my DNA. I'm like, I gotta fix it. If I can't, I'm like, listen, I'm gonna give you the directions. You're gonna fix it. And she goes, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm like, God damn. So at one point, the iMac went absolute kaput. She's panicking because there's photos on there. She's like, I don't know what to do, and she's racing to Brandon before Staples closes. She's like, I'm gonna pick up the last laptop they've got.
Yeah, this last laptop that they have with like the certain specs that I needed. And then Ronnie's like, will you make it there in time? And he's in there in his flip flops. This was like a week ago.
Ran because Staples is like 5 minutes from my house. For her, it's 25 minutes. So
holding the door open.
I am waiting. I'm like, okay, she's not gonna make it. At least let me step my foot into the store so they can't close the store on her. So she finally walks in, gets a laptop, and then now she's okay. She's got another laptop.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, before she got that laptop, she got another one. She ordered one. And that's, if you listen to the previous episodes, you know how long that's taking to show up. So it's not going to be here till mid-April at this
next
point.
Year. Yeah.
So she's already spent another $4,000 on another laptop.
More than 4.
And then she spent another $2,500 on another laptop.
Closer to 3. And then there was that. Yeah.
So Danielle's IT expenses have gone off the roof because she wouldn't let the token brown guy come do the IT.
Okay.
So she bought the iMac 2 days later and dropped it here and said, fix this.
Yeah.
It took me 3 hours and it's fully up and running.
Yeah. I just laughed because the whole entire time, moral of the story, right? He's like multiple messages, voice messages, just bring it by. I'll fix it.
100%.
I was like,
it took me 3 hours.
You have this little drive when it comes to technology and more patience than I do. This thing, honestly, man. I know I needed a new picture window, so I was just going to be dramatic about it. All for the gram.
Listen, we are born IT support. Okay, so if you don't utilize the free support you get from the fellow IT nerd, you're gonna have to be frustrated. So
she bought it over.
She bought it over, and the computer's not fixed.
Okay,
but yeah. So what I was gonna say was the nerd part of it. So
and a big iMac.
Jesus, this went south so fast.
Okay, so you were saying
yes, the nerd of it. Yes, photo shoot in terms of that, like to when we see couples that have they're into Harry Potter fans, they're Star Wars fans, they're Pokemon fans, they're Lego fans, like they're different things. We try to sort of recreate that from a video standpoint, or from a photo standpoint too. We try to recreate that in different, even in the music standpoint. Their entrance, the groom's entrance to the ceremony is the Dark Imperial March, the Imperial March from Darth Vader, or the lightsaber that we used for Sarah and Sean's wedding this past November. It was they wanted to have sort of a lightsaber battle, so we basically gave them 2 giant branches that we found on the street and said, okay, go start fighting. And then we replaced that with lightsabers in the post edit. And now with the sound effects and everything, she turns on the lightsaber, the whole thing turns on. It is so beautiful and it's awesome. Again, we put that effort into making it happen too. There was a photographer for them, and she said, you guys do what you got to do. We'll put the lightsaber in for it. And then we have Harry Potter fans with wanting to ride the Nimbus 3000. So there's things that we can do with
Isn't
that.
Relive your passion.
Oh man.
Does that just the person that asks for something like that, you're just like,
it's like for that person who's waiting for their Hogwarts letter. It's that much better, right? So it's so good.
Yeah.
And we had couples who were a lot of the Lord of the Ring fans, and the ring that he got from her when she put it on had the whole scripture from Lord of the Rings and the one ring to rule them all, the whole thing on it. So
did it
it's
say
about,
my precious?
it did not say my precious.
I'm disappointed.
You know, Danielle hasn't seen Lord of the Rings movies when she's there.
No, I have seen all of them. I can't.
Silas is up to his wits end right now.
I think people, see me with like I'm into a few different things, but I think if you don't know me from the street,
see, okay, so yes.
That's another episode.
I keep bringing this up.
If you know
this
me,
girl
you know.
does so many things. If Danielle is not just a photographer, this girl has so many things that she does for hobbies. This girl has a resume of hobbies.
It's so aggressive that I'm like pushing it under the rug because I'm like, I know I'm the most aggressive person anyone's ever met. Like I'm up there. Like there's not a lot of people that beat me in there. That it's almost embarrassing.
And she does it all while being a mom. And
definitely had to scale back a few things.
A few things for now until Blakely's like 8 years old and you're like taking her or giving her another dirt bike to run around along with you.
But I think when you first see me, you don't think that I'm a mega Lord of the Rings fan.
You don't.
I love the Rolling Stones, right? I like my fast cars. I like, I like a little bit of everything.
Jesus, you need to make a list of it, and we need to make a whole episode like Danielle deep dive. This is what Danielle does, Yeah. That's what we got to get into. But yeah, so that's it, again, sprinkle a little bit of your passion, your interest, your personality into it as a couple, right? So that's important for photos and videos too.
I know we talked about posing, but let's just like keep going with where we're at this. Okay, girls. I know you bought your expensive dress. I know there's a little bit of dirt there. Might be great pictures might be on the hill, but you don't want to get your dress dirty. You're only going to wear it once. I'm not a dress destroyer. That is not me. But I have come across, and not even like weddings that I first shot, maybe when I first started my career, where someone's like, oh, no, my dress, it's dirty over there. No. And it's like, when are you wearing it again? Right?
Yeah.
I am there for the girls that, it's late in the night. They may have a second dress and they're like, oh, I'll jump into her wherever, get a little bit dirty or whatever. Or it's being bustled and hidden. Those types of things. Or like it's the end of the night. If you're not framing your flowers or doing something with them, then you can have a little bit of flower fight with your husband, or you can kind of whip them up and down and kind of get them flying and stuff like that with your bouquet, or just having fun with what you're wearing and what each other's wearing, and those kinds of things. Like,
and here's where sort of clicking my head. When you're picking a photographer or videographer or whoever vendor wise you're picking for your day, you're looking at their work and going, I want that, right? Yeah. I want to have that kind of style. I want that sort of candid moment. What is it that you like
about it too?
What you liked about it was because they gave you the input to make you feel comfortable, want to get most out of you. They did that for you, and so you got to let them sort of bring that out of you too, right? So you gotta give them the authority that you picked them because you like their work. So to create the work that you like, so they got to bring it out of you.
You know what I found that I have found even just this past season super helpful that you mentioned that I do think every photographer is going to be super excited about me saying this, is that when you go and you're picking your photographer, and if you'd admired them for a while, in your email, tell them what exactly like sparked you booking them. Sometimes people say to me, Danielle, it's your candid. It's like, I just like how much fun people look like you're having your photo. So then when I shoot that wedding, I think, okay, it's in my realm of what I do. So I'm really going to focus on that because that is what drew them to me. And then I have someone else that said, ooh, I like the emotion you had in it. That bride and groom couple of her crying. I was so into that. Like, I like that. Oh, I'm like, oh, okay. I have tips and tricks to make you cry on command. So like I might focus on that or plan that for you. But if you're not the couple that's for, then obviously that's not what you're going to mention in your email. 100%. So it's good to and again, giving
the photographer as much details as possible.
Even the videographer. I like how you story tell.
100%. And like to bring that story, it comes from them, right? So like as much as information as you can get, like we, again, for all our couples from the video side, we send them a questionnaire to fill out just to know a little bit about them, about their story, what's important, what's not. We get to get it all from you, right? right? So when we're on the day, we start focusing on that. So trying to get understanding of, try to get the story and having an understanding of you is important for us to get the story, and that helps.
And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Like, I'm not going to speak for everyone here, and not even for you and the video guys, but like half of what I do is because I love it and it's art to me.
100%.
And it's my creative passion. Then the other half of what I do is what I think you're going to like. So a little bit of input or just a tiny bit of guidance. And if you give me nothing, I'm still going to produce great things that I'm super passionate about.
But think about what could be produced when you have both, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
100%.
So, and like I said, don't pick a photographer and say, hey, could you shoot like so-and-so, this other person? That's not what we're talking about.
That 100%.
Yeah.
Again, that applies too, right? So because we're talking about still poses and styles and why we do certain things, and that all sort of encompasses that, because we as creatives, when we come and sort of start capturing your wedding day, it's all part of it. So
okay, let's start with even poses when we're talking about getting ready photos, things like that. Huge thing I've kind of come across in my career of doing this is I'm a huge, like, I don't even know what to call myself, crazy person when it comes to where you're getting ready. I will come in, say, hi, I'm Danielle, and then start cleaning off bras and start putting away, making beds, and start getting rid of the junk in the background. When you're thinking of getting ready photos, you may not realize why you like someone's getting ready photos. It could be location, could be lighting, could be the bright white, maybe it's the dark and moody. Depending where you're getting ready, maybe you could take a few things off the walls leading up to the wedding, make it look a little bit cleaner, or maybe that's not important to you. But I will say though, as a photographer standpoint, like I totally move beds, I rearrange things, I move furniture. So when you think of that and you think of, okay, what do I need for getting ready photos? Groom or bridesmaid, I think you need a big window with not natural lighting and something less cluttered.
100%.
What would you say, Rhoni?
And again, natural lighting, 100%.
Yeah, just because the focus is you, not distracted by the background. So,
For sure.
So even with poses, with getting ready, with your guys or your girls, it's happy time. And like it's time to crack jokes. You're getting your pictures taken, but you can be having a conversation with your girls.
100%. And again, with the guys too, when we're out filming them, they're either any sort of activity that you have in mind. Yeah. Like sometimes we're on the golf course, sometimes we're at the pool table, sometimes we're at the range, play out shooting,
mixing
right?
drinks at the 100%.
So like there's so many different activities that you can involve that sort of brings all of that, adds a little more
or even
to your.
What is, as a group of guys collectively, do you guys like to do together?
Yeah,
absolutely. Why not
100%.
fit that in your day? When you're doing stuff. So a lot of times people don't consider when guys getting ready photos, you can have your dad or your mom there. That is okay, because you can have your mom picture of putting your boutonniere on. You could have your own dad fixing your tie. So that's how you could include them if you wanted to. For the girls getting ready, I would say for posing wise, kind of let whoever's going to put you in your dress, whether it's your mom, your sister, your maid of honor, or your grandma, let them know, they're going to be doing that. It's not a huge to do, anything like that, but they need to be ready. A lot of times when you ask them the day of, oh, could you put me in my dress? And the photographer's here, grandma or mom is still in their sweatpants. They're like, excuse me? It's true.
Well, sometimes dad's out there, you're ready in your dress, and dad's out there still fixing some stuff and putting stuff. I'm like, okay, dad, gotta get in a suit, gotta get ready for your first look with daughter. So think about those things too, right? So that's how you involve your parents in everything. So how exactly? I'm a huge advocate, and sometimes you're like, well, whatever, my mom's busy or whatever. Okay, this is really like how would I say, sensitive me to say, but the people closest to you, your little sister, older sister, your mom, your dad, your grandma, those are the closest people to have an intimate photo with them. And it could be involved with the getting ready, because if something were to happen to them tomorrow or the next day, a week or a year, that might be your favorite photo, favorite professional photo. So it's okay. Take 5 minutes and plan a little bit of that. Quick sidetrack, like take photos outside of the wedding too often. Like
Yeah.
Why, like, don't make the wedding photos be the end all be all. Like, take photos outside of it. Like, schedule a photographer, do a family session. Like,
absolutely,
you know, on a fall evening or winter or summer, like whenever you want to feel like, because time is precious and capturing those times, right?
Posing piece with your family, like hips together, nice and close, like those kinds of things, you know. And then even going into bridesmaids.
So outside, so when you're getting ready part, and then after bridesmaids are done, even the first look with the bridesmaids. So you gotta think about where you want to do it, how you want to do it. So is either you want to walk in and you want the bridesmaids to turn, or you want them to close your eyes. And
you don't even have to do that shot.
100%.
But group shots. Have you ever seen ones that are super cute and off Pinterest, and then there's ones that you get back and you're like, ugh. Okay. Real quick tip on that: boobs together, girls. Boobs together, shoulders together, boobs together, everything together. It's all about touching. It's all about touching. Everyone nice and close. Everyone sharing COVID. Just joking.
Jesus, we're done. I thought COVID was done, right? COVID's gone now. Right? Yeah, never happened.
I don't know. I guess we'll see how that pans out. But rule of thumb on photos: what did we say? Hands
out of the pockets.
Touching.
Yeah, always.
Yeah. Always pretty much touching
and smiling. Yep. Teeth and try to be as casual and normal as possible, and forget there's a camera, right? Candid moments come when you don't think there's a camera and everything just happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So
even a bridesmaids, groomsmen, like I'm always shooting through people or doing different things. Unless I tell you to move, don't move. Right?
100%. So, so that, again, that's some of the posing stuff. Like we went all over the place here, but just giving you different things, like from different times and different parts of the day about posing and why that we put to certain things and why there's certain things that
you and
100%
your personality,
and who all to include from your family and friends to be a part of that too, right? So
I feel like the more you get worked up about the whole entire process, it's not a good thing. That's not what we're trying to do here. We're just trying to give you some tips and tricks and things like that.
Yes. So think about when it comes to when you're thinking about, okay, am I going to pose? Okay. Am I going to, the first thing to do is don't think about it, because that's not your,
don't think.
Like just again, the simple things, as I said, make it handsy, keep it as loose and comfortable as possible, because the capturing we'll take care of the capturing of it. Jesus Christ, I lost my train of thought again. But no, that's sort of that's the sort of the rule of the thumb and how to run with it. But that's it for episode 7, I think. We talked about posing and pretty much went everywhere we need to. But if you want to know some of the poses and if you want to see some of the work we do, follow us on Instagram, Trident Films and Danielle Palladic Photography, and
if you want to see our Greek goddess and our other good-looking fellow there, follow them. It's at Mark Finney and at Mark Willis Photography, right? Or
it's we call him the King of Atlantis, Mark Finney.
What is that guy's name? Aquaman.
Jason Momoa.
Who does, like, for those of people that don't know Mark Willis, like, who does he look like?
Leave it in the comments below if you're watching.
Figure it out for us.
I'm going to put a poll on Spotify. If you're listening on Spotify, there's going to be, if you scroll down on the episode, you'll see who does Mark Willis look like, and you got to write your answer in there, okay? So we're going to make that available in the next episode. When we start talking, we'll know who does Mark Willis look like. But that being said, thank you
for us today
so much for listening to episode number 7 of For the Record podcast. I'm your host, Rhoni, and Danielle, saying thank you. We'll see you next week.
Have a good one, guys.
Audio.